Hello, welcome back to another video. How are you doing today? Today's question, here we go. Justin, please make a video on good investments for the future. Oh, I like this one. Okay. Good investments. Now, if you're talking about financial investments, people who are really wealthy at this time, at this day of age, are really your parents. When I look at my family, my father's side of the family, they all immigrated from Hong Kong, and what they did was they came up to Canada or Vancouver as a family, and they opened a Chinese restaurant as a family. So my whole Chinese family worked in that restaurant, right? My grandfather, grandmother, my aunts and my uncles and my father, they were all part of that restaurant. My aunts were the waitresses, my uncles were the cooks, grandfather was the owner, grandmother was at the cashier, yada, yada, yada. What they did was they just worked their ass off every day, 7 days a week. They never took any days off. They worked really hard in their restaurant. They tried to save as much money as possible. And once they saved enough money, what they ended up doing was, well, my grandfather, what he did was he invested in a building. So he bought a building here in North Vancouver. At the time, the prices of rent, real estate was just so cheap back then, long time ago here in Vancouver, not like today. And from that building, he kept that building for many years, and he rented out all of the space to the stores and shops, tenants, and he just collected money. It was just passive income for him and his family for many, many years. They just lived off of that passive income, and what they did was they took that money and then they invested it in real estate. So they ended up buying houses. So each of my aunts, each of my uncles, they all bought their own house. Real estate was really cheap, super cheap, not like today. Insanely cheap. All right, they got in early. That's what I'm saying. And now all their properties are worth millions and millions of dollars. And then when my grandfather died, and then the grandmother, she passed away soon after. But before she did, she sold that original building that they bought in North Vancouver for a fortune. It was worth like boom, right? After many years of owning it, that property. And then she dispersed that wealth amongst her children before she passed away. That was part of her will. And then that's how my Chinese family got wealthy. And right now, if you look at them, the problem that they have is they are just bored with life. They have nothing going for them. There's nothing driving them because they've made it. They're at the top. You know, they're just sitting at home watching Chinese television or going to Las Vegas or gambling or playing mahjong, shopping for useless shit. Every time I see them, they're just bored. Their eyes are glazed and there's no life in them because they've achieved all that they wanted to achieve. And they're just, when you've made it, that's another problem of itself. So I really like looking at real examples of wealth and investments and seeing how it was done by working backwards. Yeah, real estate investing worked for them. Does it work now when the market is just crazy and like homes in Vancouver cost an average of more than $1 million? I don't know. I don't think so. It's not the same as it was before. This example, this lesson, is that you have to get in early at something, whether it's real estate, whether it's a market or a business that you want to start, a niche, whatever it is, you have to see the patterns. You got to see in front of you, the steps ahead of you, and you got to invest and you got to start early. My grandfather, he was one of the first, right? He landed in Vancouver, a strange land, didn't speak any English. So he did what he could. He just took his talents, which was he had business experience in the past, and he had a clothing factory in China before this. It was successful and then it failed. So he had the experience of running a business from start to finish. So when he came to Vancouver, he did the same thing, the process, but instead of a factory, he opened a Chinese restaurant and then got his kids involved, and they worked really hard. The people that I see around me, the people who are really wealthy, were the people who got in early. And it's the parents, not the kids these days. For example, in Vancouver, you see lots of sports cars, luxury cars, they're all like these mainland Chinese kids, and they're driving like white Mercedes-Benz, white BMW, white Audi, white Lamborghini. And you see who's driving these cars. These snotty little kids, brats. Do you think they bought these cars with their own money, with their own wealth? No! They're Chinese parents back at home in China or Korea or wherever these immigrants' parents are from. They gave the money to the kids, and they call it allowance, monthly allowance. And this is a very common phenomenon here in Vancouver. You'll see lots of immigrant kids, not from around here, driving expensive cars, owning expensive apartments, expensive clothing, expensive bags, all bought by their parents. The parents have the money, not the kids. Don't be fooled by it. None of these kids have business skills or sense or the value of money in their heads. They're just given an allowance every month. One reason is because the parents, they feel guilty because they can't spend time with their kids, so they shower them with these gifts. Second reason is they're laundering their money out of their corrupt countries, so they're trying to launder it through their kids by buying all this stuff. Whoever you see out there that's young, showing off, like they call it flexing, out in public, I know for a fact they don't have any money. Get in early, whatever it is, and develop whatever it is that you're trying to develop. So for me, I got in early when it came to swimming on YouTube. Okay, I was one of the first many years ago to post a swimming video on YouTube. I got in early, and then I was lucky enough to get a lot of views because of that. Because when you post a video on YouTube on a topic that is new and fresh, the database in Google or YouTube itself, it's like real estate, okay? You're the first onto that market. Whenever someone searches a topic or a video on swimming on YouTube, one of my videos is the first to pop up because I started early. I got in early. And it doesn't have to be real estate, but it has to be something that you're going to stick with for the long run. What you don't know about me is that I have a business that I run that involves selling on Amazon. I started this business 2 years ago, and I'm doing it every day, and that's why I work 7 days a week, because I want this business to succeed. This is my lifeline. This is how I make money. I don't make money on YouTube, but I stuck with it, and I'm still at it to this day, and I'm still learning, and I'm still making mistakes, and I'm still surviving. And I've learned a lot about how e-commerce really works versus all of these gurus on YouTube talk about how wonderful it is to live the laptop lifestyle and make passive income. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're not giving you a balanced perspective of what really happens when it comes to running a business. It is hell, okay? Running a business is really stressful. It's hell, and is the most challenging thing you will ever endure. And if you make it out on the other end, hopefully you could end up in a better situation than you were before by having a lot of money, and then you will have a new problem like my Chinese relatives do. which dim sum restaurant to eat at today, or which luxury bag to buy today. Yeah, their problems, rich people problems. But yeah, invest early at something and stick with it for a long time. Think the long run. All of these ideas that I've had in the past that that were hot at the moment didn't last long, okay? They all went by the wayside, okay? Because my passion, my heart wasn't in it. Anything that you stick with over a year is a good sign that you are determined to make this thing succeed. Another way I think about it is I think about it like relationships. If I have a girlfriend, I want that girlfriend to be with me for many years. I don't believe any of these people who have no relationship experience, or they have the longest relationships are a few weeks or months. These people deserve to be alone, okay? Because they're not really determined to make the relationship work. And then they end up chasing another guy or another girl, and then the next girl, and then the next one night stand, or the next club. You will never see me in a club. I think clubs are a waste of time. Online dating is a waste of time. Blind dating is a waste of time. All of that is built on making money off of you. How did I meet my girlfriends? I was out there in public, okay? I put myself out there, whether it was at work, whether it was at the coffee shop, whether it was in the mall, whoever I wanted to talk to, I talked to. People make it out to be hard. Like, it's hard to approach a girl out in public. For me, it's not. You just have to develop the habit, okay? Once you talk to somebody in public, you notice that you're the only one. There's no competition. You don't see a lineup of guys waiting to talk to a girl in public, do you? No. But you'll see it online. What they don't show you in the back end is all these websites or dating sites like Tinder and stuff, that you'll see like a whole lineup of guys online waiting to talk to one girl. I'd rather not be in that lineup and be in a blue ocean, like, talking to somebody out in public in the real world. I invest in everything long term, whether it's my relationships, whether it's my businesses, whether it's my life goals or fitness goals. I knew that I would never stop swimming, or I would do this till the day I die, and I would see through it, and I would commit to it, and I still swim to this day, and I'm very proud that I've kept this skill, because people look to me for help and advice and training and coaching, because I went through all of those hurdles, and I give value to people because of that. I can now tell you for a fact that if you have a problem with swimming, I can probably give you an answer or how to solve it. And the same thing goes with business. Once I stick with this business plan longer and longer, I will get better through my mistakes. And I can probably share my tips for you in running a successful business. Invest in your health, invest in your wealth, and invest in your relationships. Be good at something. Be very good at something and develop the credibility. Get that credit, get that brand, get your name out there. And you develop the respect, and people will look up to you. You do not need to be a celebrity, because when you're a celebrity, you will get fans and crazy stalkers and crazy people and all this bullshit that you don't really want at the end of the day. You want to be left alone when you have your alone time or private time. Be known, whether it's in swimming, whether it's investing, whether it's in your city. Let people know who you are, and develop a reputation and credibility that people will say, oh, I know that guy. He's great at blah, blah, blah. Oh, I know him. I know her. She's the best at blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of people that really hide their faces online or out in the public. Then they're just a nobody. They're just another face, another number in the line or in the crowd. They complain that, I'm not treated special. I don't get attention. Nobody blah, 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 blah gives any shit about me, because you're not providing value. That's why. So get your name out there like I do. Like, I put my face out there on YouTube because I want to develop my brand. I want to develop my fan base. I want to develop my following. I want to grow this channel. I want people to know me and say, wow, I know Justin. Justin's great at talking about blah, blah, blah. If you're having a hard time doing that, spend some alone time. Spend some time by yourself. Reflect and really focus on yourself. So work on that. That's a good investment. I hope this has answered your question. If you have questions or if you want a topic for a future video, comment down below. Subscribe to this channel. Like this video. And I'll talk to you next time. Okay, bye-bye.